G'day guys and welcome back to the Rainbow Six Pro League for the ANZ region. I am Dev Marta and joining me once again is the magnificent Monkey Fist.
Magnificently moustached Monkey Fist, thank
you. Exactly. I was just going for the alliteration of all the M's, and it kind of goes with the whole fact that, that's really your thing, isn't it?
Okay, Dev. All right. At least I'm not wearing lipstick on stream.
I'm not wearing lipstick, guys. I just have naturally red lips, and Monkey Fist is jealous about it. Enough banter. We've got Taboo versus DedSet coming up for the second match of Playday 2 here in the ANZ Pro League. And this is going to be very exciting. Let's have a look at the rosters coming up. First up, we've got Taboo. Why don't you run us through that one, Monkey?
Yep, so we've got Crude, Striking, Strider, Jam, and Rippy. Now, this is a lineup that, is a bit newer. Like, Crude was in the very first edition of Taboo, right? But he's switched out 4 members, and, they've switched a few members around again, so they've ended up with the remaining 4. Now, so I believe the latest edition is Rippy, if that's correct.
Rippy and Striking together both came from Outlaws, which they competed in the previous Pro League season. But Jam and Strider having completed an entire Pro League season now, with Crude and the rest of Taboo. But moving on now onto the DedSet roster, a roster that's, I actually didn't know who was going to be playing tonight until I checked the rosters, until I saw who was in lobby. Some changes have been coming around, but why don't you take us through who we got tonight?
Well, we've got Sheafy, Vicious, Unit, Fisho, and Astro. Now, Sheafy's been a player that's been around for a very long time, and I really feel like in the last couple of months he's definitely come forward to some great form. Unit Doggy was an Xbox player, I believe, along with Fisher Guy, I believe. I could be wrong.
That's correct, yeah, that's what I recall.
But Astro and Vicious. Vicious was a bit later to the scene. I think he might have been PS4, I could be wrong as well. But
and Astro also comes from the Xbox scene as well. Transitioned over for PC. He actually played for Control for a short time, but now he's settled on DedSet, or at least for now. I'm not quite sure whether he's in a core position or a sub. Unit Doggy also, he was previously captain at DedSet, and then he was off the roster, but now he's back. I apologize if there are any really deep, intimate details of the situation that I'm not aware of, but if you're DedSet team manager or you know the team really well and you want me to get the details right, just PM me after the match and I'll make sure that for the next cast I'm getting all the details right. But nonetheless, why don't we have a talk about what we've actually got coming up? So just like we saw for the previous matchup, we have 2 best-of-1 series. Now, in the other Pro League regions, namely EU, NA, and Latin America, the Pro League is conducted where the first and second matches in the double round robin best of 1 are played on opposite sides of the season. So one during Operation Parabellum and one in the next Pro League, in the next in-game season, the next DLC season. No, here in ANZ, we're actually doing them both at once. It's a little bit more convenient that way for the broadcasters and for the teams. And that means that we're going to have 2 best of 1s being played out with no overtime. First to 10 rounds, you play 5 rounds on defense and then 5 rounds on attack, or vice versa. If it gets to 5-5, we'll have a draw like we just saw from Phonetic.
First to 6 rounds, just to correct.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, it's out of 10 rounds, first to 6. 5-5 is a draw. But we are going to head into this map. We've got DedSet versus Taboo. DedSet starting on attack and Taboo starting on defense. We're going to see the first attack ban come out for Taboo. What are you expecting, Dev?
I'm not quite sure. Probably a Glaz, but well, we're here on Bank. I'm just going to touch on that. Taboo banned out Consulate and Coastline. DedSet banned out Oregon and Border. So yeah, here we are on Bank. A Thermite ban. Interestingly, a lot of teams will ban a Hibana to prevent teams from being able to get all 3 hatches, but Taboo decided to go for the Thermite, not the Hibana.
That's going to be great for the wall into the downstairs bomb site. That's what I'm thinking of. It's going to definitely prevent them from opening up as much area as they want. You're going to have to be picky with using Hibana charges in that position. Then you're going to have to be picky on what hatches you open. Next ban is a Glaz. Interesting in
almost 0 ways, because Glaz has something like a 98% ban rate so far in the Pro League internationally. And, teams just don't want to deal with that. It's funny, I noticed even Latin America have been banning Glaz, and Latin America love Glaz. DedSet once again banning Mira. The most prevalent defender ban that we've seen now. Taboo's defender ban. I'm keen to see this one because like there's no mirror on the table now. This is really where it can go anyway. I'm expecting maybe a vigil or a caviera because roaming can be so strong on bank, and I'm expecting they're going to try and mitigate that. No, it's a maestro, so they're actually trying to ban out the anchor game and not the roam game.
Yeah, two very interesting bans from Taboo, two meta bans from DedSet, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, meta bans from DedSet. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
The glass
in
the mirror, yeah.
Oh, that's actually a really good way of putting it. I hadn't thought of it like that. Yeah, the Glaz is a completely different way of playing, and they completely don't want that on the table. And I guess you could say the same for the mirror. Nonetheless, Taboo on the defense, and where they will be residing for the next 5 rounds, whether they win or lose them. They're starting in the basement, no surprises there. Bringing Echo, Smoke, Valkyrie, Jaeger, Bandit, pretty normal stuff. No Maestro. I don't quite understand why they banned that. Maestro is really powerful, and they're on the defense first, so they can take advantage of him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I suppose we saw some great stuff with the Maestro the other day, and I'm thinking that maybe Taboo don't really want to do with it. Now, we saw Crude pick the Valkyrie.
Is he going to get off this Valkyrie? Surely not.
He's a well-known Valkyrie maid, and... well, he's going to stick on it. He went to go change, but no, he's decided to stay.
Maybe he just used up the 6th pick so that no one on his team could change up. Yeah, no changing. We're doing this. We stratted it. Let's do it. Anyhow, looking at the attacker lineup, we've got the Hibana. That's the only hard breach available to the attacker since Thermite has been banned. The Lion, that's a meta operator that's being utilized. We've also got Smokes taken by the Jackal of Unit Doggy. That Jackal, a very on-meta operator pick for this map of Bank. Bank was really where Jackal became into the meta, became seen as viable. And, well, he's going to be very useful for clearing out those roamers should Taboo decide to put any.
Can I just interrupt for 1 sec? With the banning of Thermite, this bomb site is going to be so much more defensible. You're not going to be able to open up as big a hole for the planet to walk in. You're not going to be able to open up the wall next to it either to cover from. You're not going to be able to open up the hatch. You've got to pick 2 of the 3.
Oh, yeah. I think striking just shot Jam. That's not a good move, striking. But oh, wow. And a very, very early pick from Fisho. 20 seconds into the round, he's already inside of server and gets a very cheeky early pick onto the Echo. Great job there.
Yeah. That's not what Taboo want to go down nice and early. The unpredictable plays coming out for Fisho there, and it's really working. Have spotted out one of the cameras, and that's going to be taken down. So this IQ is a great counter to Crude, who loves to play the Valkyrie.
Yeah, and also a counter to the Echo, which is now off the table anyway. More and more operate. Yeah, and we can actually see the... So this is the default cam he's going to take out, but I thought on his screen we also saw a camera in the south side of the room, but no, never mind me. Nonetheless, Hibana charges are going to be opening up the hatches area. Yep, and you have one more X-Kairos pellet which could be used potentially to give an angle inside of server, this east-facing server wall, which you mentioned earlier. Opening that could give a line of sight into the bomb site.
But it's going to be so hard to get into plant now. They're going to have to go for an explosive play to get the hard-holding defenders sitting far back. Very interesting. Sorry, it's going to be very interesting to watch.
But, I mean, talk about plant denial. I'm not sure whether Rippy has a C4 or barbed wire, but assuming he has barbed wire like most Bandit players would, that's the 1 C4 on Valkyrie and 3 Smoke Babes on that's Striking, not Strider. These guys' names are really confusing because they look identical. But, that's not a ton of plant disruption. And DedSet have a whole minute going into this now. Potentially they could do a lot of work.
Well, there goes the first plant attempt that's forced on back there by the smoke nade. I think DedSet have cleared it with enough time that they're going to have enough time to get in nicely for the cover. They're going to see the nade thrown in. It's going to force Crude back. They're not going to kill him.
The main difficulty here for Taboo is the fact that they don't have any real intel gathering onto the plant. Not having, Maestro, a bulletproof camera, or anything of the kind inside of sight means it's going to be difficult for them to know when to use that C4 to deny plant.
Yeah, that's a great point. We're going to see the second smoke babe come out. 25 seconds on the clock, and we've got one more after this one. This is going to be tight. We're seeing Astro trying to walk down the stairs, and I think Rippy might have been heard by him. Lion Charge is going to come on out as Crude with the C4 is going to find Vicious. Astro's going to be spotted, but Sheethy's found one, and Rippy another one before Jam will find Astro. All up to Unit and Fisho, as Fisho is on the site trying to plant. Indeed, it's been confirmed, as now he's going to try and prone back while Unit is going to reposition.
Unit's going to go above the hatch, no doubt, in order to gain an extra vantage point, and Rippy going for the flank up main stairs alongside of Jam. Now, if these two players go together, they're going to be in a great position to refrag. Crude takes down Fisher, which means that Crude can go for the defuse while the two players are flanking. Unit takes down Rippy on the flank. Jam now, the last one to flank. And if Unit can deny this from above, then this is over. Crude is being completely spotted out. They need to have, both Taboo players need to be next to each other in order to deny this.
Yeah, and Unit might have just heard him, but we're going to see Jam with the peak find the shot, and Crude has plenty of time to stick that defuse destruction. So that is Taboo taking the first round, which it looked very tight, didn't it?
Oh, that was so close. It could have gone either way there. Really, I was disappointed that Rippy, I mean, it was a 3 versus 1. That should have been, even though it was a retake, that should have been open and shut for Taboo. They knew that, well, they didn't actually know where the last player was, but they had two players rotating upstairs. Rippy shouldn't have died solo. They had Jam there as well, but for some reason, the two players who went for flank decided to split up, which meant they didn't get to refrag. And, well, it was very lucky at the end for Taboo that Unit didn't manage to peek and take down Crude when he was defusing, because there would have been no time for Jam to defuse, even if he got the refrag.
Yeah, it was a good attempt by Unit, wasn't it? Into the next one, though, we're going to see Fisho say no to the IQ. He's gone for Blitz this time, as we are going to see the teller's office and archives bomb site for Taboo.
However, he has told the other team, as that's been played during the reveal phase, and now he's going to bring out the IQ. Instead, last time I believe he picked another operator and then switched on to IQ. So he likes that IQ, but he doesn't like telling them that he's playing it. You'd think that maybe Taboo would be able to figure that out after a few rounds, but I feel like DedSet, I mean, it's a nice little trick that DedSet have up their sleeve. And because Taboo bring a decent amount of that electronic gadget utility, namely the Valkyrie cameras and those Legion mines, that IQ is going to be very, very useful.
Well, going to see all these hatches opened up there by Taboo. They're going to have a very heavy presence up on this top floor. Now, assuming they win this one, what do you think is going to be the third choice bomb site?
Oh, that's a good point. So, I mean, for most teams, I'd say it's probably CEO. I've seen a few teams in ANZ, and I mean, all over the place, really take the kitchen and open area as their tertiary bomb site. Honestly, I have no clue which one Taboo prefer, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. They might not win this round, though. They might not be forced onto it. They might have to retry this one if DedSet keep playing like they have.
Well, there was a few bullets coming through the windows, through the barricades. It's made a few of the Taboo members up here feel a bit worried, but, you know, they're sitting in their positions now as the drones are coming out. It's not going to have two people repelled on the north side of the building. Bisho trying to get the spray, but nothing coming of it.
Typically, I'd say one of the best ways to take control of this top floor is push from the east and open up those east-facing CEO walls. But I mean, there's a fear and the sledge are available, but not going to be using that destruction. No, they're instead just holding angles on the north. And well, unless if maybe they can drone the Taboo players into moving around into their sightlines. Unit manages to see Rippy for just a moment, and both him and Jam. Actually, I'm not quite sure where the Jam dropped, but yeah, yes. Going together. Nice little GSG9 brothers here.
Yes, the best roamers traditionally, for sure. Back in the day, OG Siege.
Back before we had, Keviera and Vigil and all these other roamer specialists. Well, Strider dealing a lot of damage there onto Unit Doggy. I mean, that's Unit's holes through the floor, but I mean, I feel like it's almost more often than not that these kind of vertical operators like Buck and Sledge end up, taking as much as they intend to give.
Yep, they have managed to gain control fairly easily, Dead. So, like a few drones, no real firefights. They've only lost a bit of HP on Unit Doggy, but for nothing, really. Like, gain control at the top, and that's it. But we do have a few members who are ready to flank. We've got Crude, who is playing on the service stairs, and I believe we've still got the GSG9 brothers downstairs.
The question is, are DedSet going to be able... Oh, no!
Oh,
Fisher saw that he was on the camera, and he managed to come around and get the headshot. Jam gets a refrag, but that's a fantastic use of that IQ electronic scanner ability. Very unique. Not every day that you get to see that.
Yeah, great stuff there by Fisher God, but unfortunate trade for him. We are going to see the Lion E1D come out as there's only 2 members on site, but Jam is going to make his way back from the east stairwell as Crude is heading towards the kitchen. Staff room. Oh, he's going to be running out into the open, and I think he's been seen by Sheafy. The top hatch is going to be opened up as well, and he's just going to try and hide in this back corner. He's pretty much dead, right?
Yeah, but the question is, can he get this kill? Can he deal as much damage as possible? Oh no, a bit of potato from both players. Sheafy managed to find Crude. Crude's still not managing to get that. Strider playing on site. He just needs to deny this plant, and then that's it. His impact grenade doesn't do the tricks. Astro finds 2. Striking now gets taken down by behind from Unit Doggy with the SMG-11.
Wow, that was a great last-second push there by DedSet. I was not too confident for them, but they managed to get into the bomb site, start the plant, and Taboo just had no answer. Like, it should have been so easy for them to deny that plant, right?
I didn't manage to see whether or not Striking, that's the smoke player, did have any gas babes left, but you would hope that you'd be able to deny that plant. I mean, it's not like they were trying to plant there for 30 seconds and waste all your utility. It looks like it was complete opportunity to just go for that default plant. No, he missed, did he?
Yeah, the smoke missed. It was like cutting the lesion off. Like, the lesion took a tick of damage from it, I believe. But
so that's just very unfortunate placement. I mean, a last-minute site push like that from DedSet shouldn't work. Also unfortunate that Crude on the roam didn't manage to deal anything in that last second. He really should have won that gunfight. I mean, Unit way overpeaked it. I believe it was Unit. Sheafy. Sheafy way overpeaked it, but I mean, Crude still didn't manage to capitalize on that on that opportunity.
Well, we are going to see Crude finally pick off his Valkyrie to the mute. Interesting.
So a little bit less information gathering for Taboo on the defense, but a little bit more information denial.
Yeah, I really think that the 2 GSG9 brothers upstairs should have really held on to that a lot better. They just got forced out by people rappelling on windows. Like, that shouldn't really happen.
I mean, on the one hand, you could say that they didn't really do much, and they died. Oh, sorry, they didn't maintain control of the top floor for very long. But on the other hand, they got out alive, which is something that's actually very difficult to do on the top floor. On Bank, there are so many different places where you can prevent... where you can cut off these rotations of the defenders, and the fact that they managed to get downstairs and stay there for a long time, I think that was actually a good move.
Yeah, admittedly it did come down to the wire in terms of time, but we're into this action phase now. Let's stop worrying about the past and worry about this round. I think Astro's very worried about a spawn peak.
Well, Jam did hit open those windows, so I mean, he was tempting the spawn peak, just toying with his opponents.
And Rippy was the one hanging around there. So they've chucked a few mute jammers upstairs. Oh, wait, only one's been put down, Crude. Okay.
It's a bit odd. Not quite sure what he intends to do with these mute jammers. I mean, it's a soft counter to the Lion. It's a hard counter to droning, but mute jammers are very hard to use on Bank effectively because the corridors are so wide that it's very difficult to prevent drones from actually getting through completely. Jam now playing inside a janitor's closet. Unit holding a passive angle onto that. It's just the droning that's going to do the majority of the work. Jam's been spotted out. In fact, his exact position. He's going to get wall banged. Wow, he took 1 point of damage from that commando, which deals a lot. And, well...
There's Crude. He's found one and traded back by Unit almost immediately. I don't think he managed to put any more jammers down. But that's once again the top floor surrendered, and there's a minute 45 on the clock. Like, honestly, I still feel like that's too quick to give it up.
Yeah, and what's more, now that with no Valkyrie, there's going to be a lot less intel available to the defenders when going for these late flanks and these retakes. And mind you, I don't think the Valkyrie is actually going to work very much anyway because of this IQ, which has been completely dogging Taboo round after round. Jam now holding an angle into Janitor's closet.
Oh, that's nice.
He might... Oh, he just has to hold his trigger finger. No, how does Unit Doggy win that fight? Jam misses opportunity, and then Unit Doggy just completely cleaned him up. 4 versus 3 now. There's a whole minute for DedSet to really take this to Taboo.
Yeah, that was great from Unit Doggy. He saw him out of the corner of his eye as he hit the barricade open, and he just went for the pre-fire. Easy kill. But they're still being vigilant with their drones, still checking all this area that Bank has. It's such a big map that, you know, they've got to worry about every little nook and cranny. As Rippy, he might be ready to take advantage of Fisher Guy's position, but I don't think he will. He's still just staying silent on the stairs.
Strider just placing down these Legion mines one by one. They might get taken out, though, as the EE1D will freeze the defenders in place. Strider gets his position alerted by moving. Fisher Guy takes down Striking with a very nice grenade. Strider pushing up, takes down one. He's not going to get refragged. He takes down a second one. He sees two players on the other side. He just wants to reload his primary. Rippy needs to go for the flank now. Strider gets yet another kill. And now it's all up to Vicious. 8 seconds to go. And Rippy, no way! Vicious! What just happened? That should never have happened. What?
How did he land this shot? Wow. That is insane there by Vicious. Why were they peeking him? They had no need to. They just needed to play time. That's a round thrown away there by Taboo. And, you know, an absolute massive play by Vicious.
I can't come to terms with what just happened, Monkey. What? I was going to say, like, oh, you know, if Strider just plays behind the shelf where he was, then it forces Vicious to move all the way up in order to find the shots. And, well, he has to plant. That's not going to happen. It's 1 versus 2. Rippy can be there to refrag even if he dies. But Vicious killed one and immediately flicked onto Rippy. That, I don't know.
That was also some great play there by Strider on the bomb site.
Oh, yeah.
My guess is they had a drone on the flank and were calling out his position.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty default to have drones pre-placed set up in that skylight area. But even then, just being able to land that shot and... I mean, it's really rough to say because Strider did so much work in that scenario, but if Strider had just stayed behind the cabinet, they might have won that.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
Yeah, they
instead
definitely
of
got
peeking out.
Yeah, too greedy there, Taboo. They'll surely be kicking themselves. But I'm very impressed with this DedSet roster so far.
Yeah, and I mean, I was saying that I thought this was going to be you know, a fairly clean sweep for Taboo. DedSet having so many roster instabilities that I mentioned earlier, and I don't know, it's proven me completely wrong so far. DedSet have been playing really well. Like I don't think it's that Taboo have been playing especially bad. Like, you know, mistakes here and there, that happens. Every Pro League team makes mistakes, but DedSet have been very punishing, and there's been some incredibly strong individual plays.
Yeah, now last time we did see Taboo get caught out by a very quick Fisher entry while they were still opening up holes. Not to be this time. It looks like Strider's sitting right at the entrance to the sewer tunnel. He's going to go for the run out, but no one's there. Interesting to see that Fisher guys ditched the IQ for the Monty.
I thought he was going to 6th pick the Monty, but he decided not to by the end of it. I think the IQ is one of the operators that's been working most effectively for them. I haven't really seen much use of the Zephyr charges yet, so I mean, perhaps that could be something that's traded out. But you know, nonetheless, Monty's what's brought, and I guess we'll have to see how DedSet decide to use it.
Well, he's going to be sending his drone in to suss things out, see what's clear, what's not. But it looks like all defenders are on the side. They don't have any roamers, do they?
Now, Rippy playing inside a garage is the closest thing they have to that, and it looks like it's possible that no, Unit's not going to go to push garage. He put a drone in there, and well, he's not going to push.
Yeah, just make sure you're getting all the information you can. Even when you're gathering information can still be quite important to the team, of course. So, Astro, this is what he did last time on this attack. He's going to put pressure on these main stairs. He wasn't too successful, was he? Like, he did a bit of damage, but that's it.
Jam playing now inside of server. He's got 2 ADSs to assist him and that deployable shield. So he's just going to try and delay as much time as possible. And Strider also entering means that, well, I think Fisher may have droned that out. But now, I think that if Strider gets revealed here, then this is going to be very difficult for him to stay alive. He has been seen. The Legion Mine is going to be the most effective counter to that Montaigne. But no, it's Strider going to get on out of there.
Jam is so dead. You know, if he gets one, it's great for him. He is getting pressured. He's going to hold the angle as more flashbangs and nades and such getting set his way. But here's Fisher Guy right in his face. With the hip fight, but Jam, he wins that fight. And he's going to live on. Is he going to find another frag? More drones coming out. They just can't force him out. Fisher guy going solo there.
He's lost his last ADS now, but he's not flashed. Finally, he gets flashed, but will he survive? No, he gets taken down by Sheafy and Vicious in conjunction, turning it into a 4 versus 4 with 45 seconds and no thermite to open up this wall. Strider playing very aggressively. He's going to get droned out by Sheafy. That's going to get called. Vicious is no doubt going to peek this.
Well, Unit's going to find the trade onto him so as they have opened up the hatches once again. The line coming on out, but there's only 30 seconds to go for this push now. Striking's going to start tossing out his babes, make sure that door is on lockdown, and we do have Crude on the Echo to deny it even further.
This Gas Babes and Echo Drone need to win this round. If they don't, then Taboo deserve to lose this, and DedSet deserve to take this round.
DedSet are going to drop hatches. They need to go for it. They're not going to be able to get into the bomb sites. Here comes Sheafy. He's dropped. We're going to see Crude line up to and Rippy with his own. It's all up to Unit Doggies. He's going to fall to Striking, and that's the round gone for Taboo. Great defense there.
It was the right move from DedSet to just drop hatches and find frags, but a fantastic read from Taboo, knowing that that was the thing that needed to be done for the attack, being ready for it. Crude finding 2 kills. I mean, getting off the Echo Drone. I mean, most players coming into the last 10 seconds around who are playing Echo would be on that Echo Drone. And the fact that Crude wasn't on the Echo Drone allowed him to help his teammates and find 2 of the players that rush. So very great move from them. Great read.
Well, that's a 2 for 2 as we head into the last defense round here for Taboo. Now, looking at these operators like the beginning phase and the map, you'd say this is pretty defense-decided, right? But it really hasn't been so far.
Well, we have 2 very, very strong anchors gone for the defenders. Maestro and Mirror are some of the best anchor operators, only to be topped by, you know, Smoke and probably Echo in this scenario. And losing out those really harms the, you know, hard hold potential that the defenders have. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm Taboo right now, I'm thinking that the attacks from DedSet have been so strong, especially because of that IQ. And I would be banning IQ next map.
Yeah, Fisher guy has been a long-standing IQ main. He does so much damage with it. It's been so apparent in this matchup so far. What's he on? He's top of the leaderboard. He's not top of kills, though. He's got 3 for himself.
Oh, yes, this matters.
Yeah. It is like, you know, why didn't DedSet ban Valkyrie to, you know, hamstring Crude?
Well, I mean, they wanted to ban the Mirror. I mean, I think that was something that was very premeditated, and they didn't, you know, they wanted to do that from the start. And I don't think they were going to change it up to do a target ban specifically for Taboo just because Crude's notorious on Valkyrie, and especially since, you know, Fisher is an IQ main. Why would they ban Valk if they regularly play the direct counter to that?
Yeah,
nonetheless,
that's a good point.
We're back onto an Archives and Teller's defense, and Jam looks to be doing something very, very similar to what he was doing last time. It's starting to get predictable. If they start roaming the exact same places and in the exact same way, they'll have to mix up something in order to make this roam successful, because overall it's had mixed results.
Looks like Rippy is going to be playing in a very different spot. And yeah, this roam clear from DedSet, like it shouldn't be working, but it is, isn't it? Just repel on the windows. Like, just send someone to car park. Like, we got Vicious covering that, I suppose. But, like, just peek the window and pre-fire it. Like, it's... just kill him. It's easy.
Wise words from the Monkey Fist. Now, I mean, realistically, I think what Jam and Rippy have to do is they have to take out the drones and then stay there. Force the players to face check them. And that's what Fisher Guy's going to have to do now. And there you go, it works. Rippy hears the repel, but Astro immediately refrags it. Jam is going to drop on out of there. It was a 1-for-1. The Dockerby's down. That's going to be a lot of harassment now that the attackers had in their disposal, which the defenders are not going to have to worry about.
All right, then. So 4v4 now for that 1-for-1 trade. It's minute 45 on the clock. Vicious is going to start making his way slowly in from the main lobby. Yeah,
and a lot of drones going around in the open area, part of the map. It makes me think that we're going to see a south side push, potentially through the admin office, probably front of the lobby. Strider, he dealt a lot of damage last time he was defending this site, but I don't know, he's kind of alone here, and there's not a lot of strong plants now, which was what they really suffered from last time, or the first time they tried to defend this site.
Well, Strider sitting up on his desks, he might be in a bit of a hidden position. I've gotten stuck up there before, so that's not somewhere I want to be hanging around with. We're going to see some pressure coming from above thanks to Unit on that sledge. Getting a bit stuck, but he's going to get through the hole in the end, as these defenders are surely feeling quite pressured now.
Yeah, and with no thermite, there's also not a lot of options for the attackers. Jam continuing his successful roam by just playing in the vault. Managed to take down Astro, that Sophia off the boards. I'm not the most impact frag, but anything's game at this point, especially since, I mean, DedSet still haven't dealt with Jam.
Yeah, 30 seconds on the clock. You don't have time to deal with the roam. You just need to go for the bomb site, watch your flank. You know, he shouldn't be surviving for this long. Of course, it is bank. It's much harder to hunt the roamers, but, you know, 20 seconds, it's getting very, very dicey.
Unit still above. Vicious and Sheafy being the ones to push into sight, and they're dealing with both Legion Mines and Smoke Babes. Vicious now losing so much HP, but he's still getting the plants off. This has to be denied by Taboo. Otherwise, it's just not looking good for them. Sheafy pushing so aggressively. He trades with Crude, but no. Jam as well, taking down Sheafy, leaving Unit the last player alive for his team, but 3 Taboo players. We've had this before. We've seen this story, Unit versus 3. Last time it got down to a 1v1 that Taboo won. We'll have to see how it pans out this time.
Well, he's getting pressure. They're just going to stick the defuse. Strider doesn't have to push up more forward at all. They're just going to hold it down. Surely the diffuser's going to come through as Strider's been down. There we go. That's the round for Taboo as they take the half 3-2.
Very, very well played from Taboo. I mean, yes, it was a 3v1. You got to say, oh, I mean, you know, how well have you got to play it when you've got such a significant advantage? But you know, they had to move, and we saw last time it was a 3v1. Taboo let it get so much closer, but they played that very well. One person stick the diffuser, one person challenge the angle that the attack would have to challenge to kill the diffusing player, and also have one player just pushing constantly so that the attacker doesn't have a moment of rest. Very well played, and well, that's going to give them just an edge up after the end of that half.
Oh, is that a cav we're seeing right into DedSet's first defense round?
It's going to be a 6th pick. I mean, if they wanted to bring a cav, they would pick something else and then 6th pick it. But
well, on the flip side, you pick it and pretend you're going to 6th pick it, but you don't.
I mean, yeah. See, I mean, like, even then, you're still giving your enemy warning. I mean, they're like, it's how many double, triple, quadruple bluffs do you want to go for? There's a point where you're just helping them. Like, the double bluff doesn't work, the triple bluff doesn't work. And, well, DedSet defending the downstairs with a fairly strong anchor operator lineup.
All right, well, they are going to start downstairs, as is the norm, of course. Operator composition.
I think the main thing just to note is the fact that it's the first time we're seeing a Blackbeard being brought. Taboo bringing that. They also bring the IQ that Fisher played a lot of on the defense. Strider is a very new Blackbeard main. Previously on the old lineup of Taboo, we had Joey G, who now plays for SYF. He was the dedicated Blackbeard main, and Strider, you know, usually played the buck role, but you know, since losing Joey, Strider's switched onto this Blackbeard role, and well, you got to see for yourself what it's like. In my experience, it is terrifying. He's one of the best Blackbeards I've ever seen, and he's so new to the role. He frags like crazy, and I mean, he's been showing so far in this game that he's a very strong fragger. Put him on a Blackbeard, he just has to sit there. He doesn't even need to think, just tap on heads.
Well, that is, of course, the best way to play Blackbeard is, like, I think the most important skill for a Blackbeard to have is, like, knowing when to be passive, when to be aggressive. You don't need aim, you don't need, like, map knowledge, just that skill.
Pure aim is pretty useful because, I mean, if you are a very, very strong aiming player, then you've not only do you have an advantage of a shield in front of your face, but you're 100% going to win all these gunfights. You know when to peek, you know when not to peek. I think it's... anyhow.
It is important, but the most important thing for a Blackbeard is knowing when to aggress and when to play passive.
And that's why I'm a terrible Blackbeard. I cannot play Blackbeard. I hate playing Blackbeard. Anyhow, Jam playing it now. He's done his roam clear, fairly confident that everyone has gone downstairs. He's got some footprints he could grab if he wishes to, but he's just making some rotates between archives and the admin office. He's got a suppressor on that C7E as well.
Well, that was might be a bit of a mistake. You know how you accidentally leave, you know, meme attachments on or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah. Maybe not. Minute and a half to go though. And where are they planning on using these X-Kairos? Like, they haven't decided yet at all.
Well, I think that the main issue is that they potentially want to use striking, walking through Legion lines as IQ. That's a no-no. You've got the direct counter to that. You should be doing that. That's what's wrong. I don't understand. Anyhow, these X-Kairos, the main thing they're probably worried about is the server hatch. But nonetheless, they're going to use it to open up the A bomb site hatch. Astro does have an Echo Drone in a very sneaky position there. That'll be able to deny the plant.
Yeah, we're going to see the Blackbeard as well hold that long angle from behind the server rack. It's going to be nice. Jam getting his own little tight angle to watch any further pushes. But 38 seconds on the clock. There's so much plant denial here. Sorry, for DedSet.
They're really executing. Really needs to come out from Taboo. I feel like we're almost getting to that stage where there has to be a drop in plant. Now, the Dokaibi call is going to force Visho Guy down further, but no, Rippy, if he gets on the drone here, he might get punished. The plant is coming down. Rippy punishes Visho Guy, but Striking is about to die on the plant. Gets taken down by the gas grenade. 12 seconds to go, and there's no one in a position to push and go for the plant again. Jam is now on the plant, and they have to prevent this from being denied. Crude and Strider both with quick kills, leaving it all up to Astro. He takes down Rippy. Plant's gone down. 1 versus 3 for Astro. Make that a 1 versus 2 as he takes down Crude. Strider with this Blackbeard just trying to duel with the bars at the moment, but it's him and Jam trying to take down Astro. Astro has to aggress, and well, as the Taboo players get themselves into more and more passive positions, it's going to be good night for Astro very soon.
Well, yeah, Astro's making a good effort of this, but can he find these last two? I'm not too hopeful for him as he peeks the Blackbeard, but he breaks the shield. He's going to push on up on that one, and Jam, prone from the stairwell, is going to find him. But wow, that was just pandemonium, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how... Nice pre-fire there from Jam. Really well played in the post plant from those last two players on Taboo, Jam and Strider. Incredible that they even managed to get the plant down. In a situation where the planter dies and there's 12 seconds left and it's a 4 versus 4. What do you do? Rippy is pushing down main stairs. He just goes, and it's his job to just frag out and create a distraction. And Jam managing to not only get a kill, but also to take up that plant, take up that mantle, have the faith in his teammates that they're going to cover him, which they did very well. I mean, it's very strong team chemistry and a lot of luck that really boiled down to Taboo stealing that round.
Well, I'm going to see that Kavira revealed once again. Surely
this is the point where the mind games come in. Like,
yeah.
It's got to make Taboo think now, are they going to pick off it or are they going to keep it? And no, it's a switch off. Maybe if they, maybe for the next time, if they lose, they'll go for Cav and actually pick it.
Well, we have got a 4-2 lead here for Taboo. They've looked, it's been fairly even, but it looks like they're inching ahead. Well, the scoreline's showing that, of course, but...
Yeah, it's only an inch, though. I mean, 2 rounds, it's not a lot. And, well, on the 5 rounds of attack that DedSet did, they managed to win 2. And here, Taboo have only won 1. It's really going to be... Well, I don't think that Taboo have proven just yet that they're the better team on back. Having a look at the scoreboard, though, Jam... is topping the scoreboard with his 7, playing that Jaeger and Jackal very well. A fairly even kill distribution on the side of DedSet, whereas Taboo, it's pretty even overall. Jam and Crude really sticking out on top, Striking, floating behind just a little bit.
Right. So we're going to see DedSet try and defend back downstairs once again. What do they need to do differently this round, Dev?
I mean, it's funny because that round where DedSet lost their defense in the last 10 seconds played out very, very similarly to when Taboo were defending, and Taboo won their defense doing that. And it was because Taboo knew that the attackers were going to drop hatches and rush, and they put themselves in a position to receive and to punish players who were dropping. Whereas DedSet did not do that as effectively. They focused on plant denial, which unfortunately meant that they lost a lot of the gunfights when the players were pushing into the site. Not sure whether it's a roam. Perhaps the vigil from Fisher Guy will assist, but hopefully that gets directly countered by the IQ from Striking.
We are seeing the suppressor once again, so either he's forgotten twice or he is meaning to run it.
Maybe he's just
running a suppressor.
Hey, maybe he's an Emo Rin fan. I'm myself. Yeah. I'm an Emo Rin fan.
Maybe Monkey Fist fan.
Oh, really?
Well, I run suppressor every now and then. Some weapons are good for it.
I had like a month where I put everything on suppressor, and I mean, it was fun for a month, and then I moved on.
No, it does. It really reduces the muzzle flash on some weapons, like even better than the flash hider.
Yes, and I mean, some people don't really notice the muzzle flash. A lot of people don't notice how much better it is with the silencer until they play with it. Something it's nice to give it a try every now and then. Striking, you should know that there's an ADS there. You're playing IQ, and yet he throws his grenade directly into it anyway. What's going on? Oh no! That could have been disastrous. Striking is a very lucky man right now. And yet he's wasted both grenades. He could have triple killed them. He could have killed himself and the Hibana and the Blackbeard. He's doing very lucky right now.
Well, it seems to have slowed things down here for Taboo. They have opened up one hole in the wall. What are they also going to open? Well, all extra hatches. I'd say the 2 hatches. Yeah, the 2 hatches are done, surely. But that's why banning Thermite on this map is so interesting, because it really adds a lot of difficulty getting into the bomb site for the plant.
Yeah, but you can see that Taboo really favour that Blackbeard, and they really want that angle now. Rippy is being the one to hold this flank. Oh, it's getting very close. Fisher wants to push through it. Rippy's the one who comes off worse for wear. He didn't manage to find any shots onto Rippy, but Rippy's just going to be trying to hold it with his drone.
Call's going to come on out, and Strider's going to find Vicious. The Striking's just going to crouch, walk into the bomb site. He doesn't care about the gas grenades, but Astro does. Astro's going to find his head at long range. We're going to see Sheafy find 2 as he's pushed on out in unit with a C4 and a Strider, leaving it all up to Rippy with 20 HP. He's pushing down the main stairs. He's going to probably run out of time before he finds anyone. There we go. And that is DedSet finding their own round on defense.
And Taboo looked pretty strong there at the start. They had Rippy holding the flank very effectively. They had the Blackbeard holding that very nice angle all the way into the bomb site. But I don't know why Taboo just flung themselves at the defenders, taking all these gunfights instead of focusing on the plant. But it really didn't work. I don't understand why, in a situation where you have your Blackbeard of Strider holding this long angle all the way from servers, why is Striking trying to peek into the B site?
Yeah,
as IQ. He got collided. He got shot through the wall randomly because the defender was trying to shoot Strider.
Very, very surprising decision, but in the end, what's done is done. We are going to see the 3-4 scoreline come on out. No Kavira picked by DedSet this time.
Maybe that means they're going to switch onto it. Yeah. Well, the visual's something that I actually really like. I think it's a clever idea. It means that you have to dedicate an individual, not just a drone, a person to face check and face hold these rotations. And well, when there are a lot of rotations, for example, going from the middle floor to the top floor on this Tellers and Archives defense, well, it's going to be very difficult to face check all of those. Oops. And well, Astro and Vicious both down half HP and wasted impact grenade.
That's a big oops.
Oof. Unfortunately, we've seen a couple of moments like that from both teams. So
yeah,
I mean, it's both teams been doing that. Nonetheless, let's have a look at this setup, because I mean, aside from getting distracted by potatoing impact grenades, it is a pretty unique setup we have from DedSet. Now, that impact grenade gives the defenders, a rotation from inside of the site into the main elevator hallway, and we'll no doubt using the castle to protect from open area and also reinforcements on the west side towards the loan office. It's going to cement that as a position that the defenders can use to rotate out of the site and to the stairs.
Looked like Fisher was toying with the idea of a spawn peak, but decides not to.
Probably wise. He was droned out.
Yes, but then again, sometimes you drone, they think, oh, he's not going to do it, but you do it anyway.
You love the mind games, don't you, Monkey?
I do.
How much are you liking Alibi?
Not so much. Like, I don't know. Really? I haven't actually played her yet.
Oh, really? Well, got to give it a shot, Monkey.
I'll stick to my bandit. Yeah, I probably should.
You stick to your bandit and your Ash ACOG. Oh no,
yeah,
you're a
no, I don't play ACOG. No, Red Dot. That's where it's at.
Well, I like that bulletproof camera that Fisher's got. Sorry, I stole the words right out of your mouth, I can tell.
I was going to say, let's focus on the game. Enough about my own game. It's nothing like this, but yeah. That was a nice camera we got there.
A loose top floor roam from
Yes.
DedSet. And well, Astro's not really getting pressured at all. Taboo aren't really doing anything to pressure onto the top floor. And well, I think that they're probably going to be fairly surprised with the hold that's happening in the elevator hallway. And well, they're making a hole with their their Hibana charges into the hallway from Lone Office, and that's going to give Crude an angle to hold all the way through the hallway.
We've seen Taboo take quite a long time, and they haven't really tried to clear out this top floor at all. Like, what have they been doing for 2 minutes?
It's actually quite hard to hold off a flank because Astro here, he could jump out of those little windows, and he could jump over this banister at any point where the banister is, anywhere in the lobby. It's not like you can just have one person to hold one spot of the rotation. You have to look at the whole thing, and Fisher go holding this cheeky angle from below. If Taboo aren't ready for it, that's going to deal a lot of damage too. Oh, Spot's coming out to help the Astro get this flank, but Striking reads into it. Taboo realizing if we're getting spotted, that means they're going to try and peek us, and Striking managed to capitalize on Astro's mistake.
Well, I like the position from Fisher, guys. Sheafy is going to find Crude, but Strider's just walking right into sight. He's ripped off Vicious' head and claimed it as his. The rest of the defenders are locked out, and the plant's going to go down.
Really nice job from Strider to entry on and push all the way into the B site. A site is full of holes and so easy for DedSet to retake, but B site not so much, as Striking gets himself a second for this round. Jam with one more. Unit Doggy being the last one, and he's got Lion charges to contend with. He's going to stand still, but he's getting shot now from the front door where Rippy has singled him out, taking a few shots in return, but 1 versus 4 where Taboo know exactly where Unit is. This is not going to end well for Unit Doggy. Half the defuse timer has elapsed, and there's a 7-second counter defuse animation that Unit Doggy has to complete after taking down all 4 of these kills. Is there even any point saving the MPX? Well, we don't have it. Oh, there you go. Striding cleans it up, man.
Well, that was a great round by Taboo. Like, you know, I did criticize them for spending so much time doing nothing, but they read into what their opponents were doing, and then they just, you know, walked into the bomb site.
Oh, yeah. Really
That's
great.
all there is to it.
I mean, Strider, you saw he took 1 kill onto the B-bomb site, and then he face-checked the rest of it. He said, I have to clear this completely because we're going to rotate completely into here because they're expecting us to be in A. If we take complete control of B, then we're in such a strong position. And Strider is confident enough in his aim skill that he can do that. An entry frag on the Lion. Also, a great thing about that Lion is, well, you can pre-fire for days with that 50-bullet drum magazine.
Well, we are on match point here for Taboo. Are they going to take this first map and send us over to the second one? We'll have to wait and see. As there's still a potential here for DedSet to draw, but they can no longer win this one.
Yeah, and they can't go back downstairs to the only bomb site where they've actually successfully won. They're going to retry Teller's Archives and Office. Teller's Office and Archives, pardon me. And Taboo are, I don't know, I guess we'll see whether they're going to go for the same attack. And if they do, it's entirely possible that they're going to be prepared for all the little tricks and traps that DedSet have up their sleeve. It does look like DedSet going for the same thing while bringing that castle.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
All right, then. So, DedSet, they've fallen behind by 3 to 5. Need to make some changes to start winning. Of course, they were unsuccessful on this bomb site, but it looked like they had a good strategy nailed down. What do you reckon they're going to do differently in this one, Dev?
I think it was, really well played from Taboo to do that. I'm not quite sure how to directly counter the fact that Taboo ran in and got kills. I mean, Astro died on his flank. He didn't do anything. That was his job. Look at this game. Strider's having a lot of fun right now. But I don't know. I don't have a lot of analysis here for DedSet. The only thing I can think of is, being more vigilant at holding these angles when they try and rush into the site. Whether that means having extra angles which you can open up with shotguns from above. Maybe that's one option. Not quite sure.
Strider's going to be nice and quick in downstairs. This is where Sheafy is nearby as well. Castle putting up barricades, not bulletproof ones.
Strange for Strider to be pushing so aggressive so early into that side.
Oh, they just going to walk in?
They might actually.
Oh, no way.
This surely has been
There
dragged
we go.
out.
There we go. It's happening as Crew's going to find the first one of the Sheafy, but the smoke's going to deny them from pushing in through the door as the telephones are ringing. We're going to see the push in there from the Lion. This Fisher guy's going to find one. What's happening? It's all up to you, Doggy. I have no idea. Wow! It's over. Taboo, clean up this map in dominant fashion in their last round. I had no idea what happened, and it was over.
I mean, I've been casting some gears, and at the end of the round, it tells you how long the round went for, so you can see how long it took them to win. I want to see the round stats on that one, because that surely was less than a minute. Taboo just walked all the way out to archives, and then they just went in refrag for refrag for refrag. It completely took them by storm. Jam and Crude each managing to get 2 kills in that last round, Rippy tying up the last one. Fantastic for Taboo to really clean it up by the end of it. A little bit of a surprise in my eyes. DedSet were playing so well for the start in particular. I suppose they just had a leg up on attack, and unfortunately for them, only managed to win 1 defense.
All right, then. So, you predicted the Taboo W heading into the next map. Do you think they're going to continue on in the same fashion?
Well, the next map being Border. I really don't know. Taboo seemed to be very strong at Bank. DedSet had some ideas going. I feel like, I don't know, if we go anything off last game where we had Fnatic versus Control. Control won on Oregon. Sorry, won. They drew on Oregon because they knew what they were doing, because they had practiced the map. They clearly didn't want to play Border, and they got smashed on it 6-0. If DedSet are not happy with this, with Border as a map to go to, then I think it's going to be definitely a Taboo win. If you want to do some, in-depth detective work to see, whether we think DedSet actually are comfortable on Border, I guess I could look at the ban phase. So DedSet in this second map banned out Villa and Oregon. Now, Villa being a map that I would consider a default ban, like they really just don't want to play it. So I think that that's probably going against them if they banned that map. Now, if they banned Oregon, I mean, it's not like Taboo are renowned for being really good on Oregon, so I don't know. I think that DedSet are probably going to struggle to win this one.
Yeah, well, we'll find out after this quick 5-minute break, guys. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you on the other side.
G'day, guys, and welcome back to Rainbow Six ANZ. Here for you, we have the Rainbow Six Pro League for the ANZ region. My name's Dev Marta, and I am not wearing lipstick. Monkey Fist, how are you going?
I'm not doing too bad. You are, Dev. We all saw you put it on beforehand.
I'm not wearing lipstick, guys.
All right.
You have to believe me here.
He just has naturally succulent lips.
That's what I keep telling everyone. They just don't believe me. Anyhow, we've got some matches. We've got one more match to go. We've seen
one more match.
Yeah, we've seen Control play Fnatic twice. And that was an interesting game. Definitely go and watch that. Especially the first map, definitely worth a watch. It was a draw against all odds. And then we just saw Taboo beat DedSet on Bank 6-3. What looked a bit rough for Taboo, but by the end of it on their attacks, looking very consistent.
I really feel like the bans definitely are playing a lot more impact than I initially expected when the announcement came out that there was going to be bans. It's definitely, lots of adaptations, a lot of different plays, and it's, definitely a good way to get a one-up on an opponent that you wouldn't normally beat, or you'd think at least.
Yeah, it's a lot of the mind games really come into it. We've talked about the mind games time and time again, and not only do we have the map bans, but we also have the 6th pick, which you can use to perhaps sneak in an operator that you didn't want the other team to know about, or on the reverse, you pick an operator initially, like, for example, we saw Astro from DedSet doing this with Caveira, and then making the other team have to, do extra work to check for that, and then switching off it so that you're not actually using it. Similar could be done with Twitch, when people are concerned about their mirrors. But nonetheless, we're going to get straight into the match here for map 2 between DedSet and Taboo here on Border.
Indeed, we're going to have Taboo starting out on attack, DedSet on defense for this one. So they get the first ban, of course. What are you predicting? You think we're going to see a mirror ban coming from them again?
It was DedSet who banned the mirror. Yeah. So I don't know. Well, the thing is, DedSet this time have to start on defense, so it's less likely that they're going to want to ban mirror, because teams tend to skew their bans to favor the side that they start on. Now, Taboo are not going to be following that logic in their Glaz ban. Glaz, very powerful attack operator, but Taboo just don't want to deal with it. Once again, like I've said before, Oh, sorry, it was Taboo who banned that one. Taboo banned IQ. Look, I said that they should ban IQ, and it looks like they've realized that Fisho guy from DedSet being such a prolific IQ player, it perfectly counters a lot of the operators that Taboo love, for example, the Valkyrie, and, well, banning that IQ is one way around that.
Well, we're going to see the first defense ban come on out, and that's going to be Taboo banning the mirror. So, looks like the team that does start an attack wants to ban the mirror so far, but honestly, like, you got to play both halves. Like, you can't really kind of rely on getting out to a 4-1 lead and finish it off with 2 of your own defense rounds. Just, you know, I suppose you got to ban what you think is going to best emphasize your whole strategy on both attack and defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been saying since the start. People keep saying, you know, oh, what if you're 5 rounds down after the first half? Well, I mean, they've got to do the exact same thing that you just did, you know?
Yeah.
You've got to do the exact same thing that they just did. Realistically, you've got to prevent the mentality from getting to you, but it's the same game. Whether you play that round now or in 2 rounds' time, it's the same game. Rounds in Siege are so long, they're so impactful, and it's only first to 6. It's not first to 16 or anything like that. You have to, every round counts, and you can't value more around early game than late game.
Right, and we're seeing a pick out that I would have liked to have seen from in the last map. We're seeing a Buck, so he's going to be able to do a lot of damage from below. But that doesn't matter because they're going to the downstairs to start off there, so we might see a lot of damage from on top.
Yeah, typically we see the Sledge coming out. Sledge's become a little bit more into the meta compared to Buck, at least in my observation. We saw a lot of Sledge last map, but no, Strider's brought out the Buck this time. And as you said, it's a downstairs bomb site, the vents room. And well, that Buck's going to be very useful for opening up the floor from above nonetheless.
Well, we're into this round. Really like this pistol though. What do you think?
Look, honestly, I liked it when they announced it, but as you can see, it is horrendous at wall destruction. I'd actually love to see, because it doesn't get much ammo either. Like, you know, you've got 35 shots total. And, you know, it can take 10 or so to actually make a decent-sized rotate hole. And see, he's used 10 shots and he hasn't even really made a good rotate hole there. I think it needs either a lot more ammo or it needs to destroy walls a little bit better. Now, it's a nice idea, but other than, you know, popping a hatch or 2, it's not very efficient.
Well, anything stand out to you from these operator picks? Like, I'm a bit interested to see exactly what that Maestro is going to be up to. But
yeah, well, the 2 really interesting ones for me, probably the Maestro and the Castle. As a tertiary, probably see the Pulse. Interesting to see where he's been playing. But, you know, the Maestro is he's the newest operator. He's, you know, supposedly very powerful according to scrim results, and everyone wants to see how he plays out in Pro League, especially since, you know, in the majority of the matches for the North America and Latin America, he was banned. So we didn't get to see him very much.
Yeah. Some interesting theory about, you know, the whole pick and ban phase. Maybe we should have a discussion about it later, not in the middle of a round, as Crude's going to be opening up this wall unless Astro can bandit trick it. Not enough time, Astro.
Oh, no.
Get there, you're going to take a lot of damage, and he's going to be finished off as he runs away. There was no time.
He just placed the bandit charge, but it was like, the battery's
just
the battery's there, and it's electrifying the wall, but the wall isn't there. That's new. I've never seen it. I just really hope that it's possible that on Astro's screen the wall is still there. I really hope that's not the case, because that would be very unfortunate as a bug. But nonetheless, Taboo have taken down the bandits and hence control of Armory fairly comfortably. They're going to be pushing in Strider once again on his beloved Buck. This is where we most commonly saw him in the previous season, the Pro League. He was infamous with these grenades and with that C8. He's going to be using one of the nades to take out the Maestro. That's a Maestro not doing a lot of damage now. You can use a Skeleton Key to open the floor.
Yeah, here we go. He's going to start putting down that pressure from above. But Astro should know, like, just going back to that, like, as soon as the thermite charge is going off, you can't start placing it. You have to place it when you hear it. Like, okay, there's a very tiny window, but
yeah, unless if you're already holding out the bandit charge. But, I mean, he ran over, and wow, Unit Doggy is going to take down Striking. That's the Zofia player off the board. And, well, I mentioned earlier I was interested to see where this Pulse was going to play, and, well, it looks like a little bit of a roam. But a roam that's where he's utilizing the vertical potential and that C4. Now, Strider is going to split out that second Maestro and going to dispatch with that quite easily with a grenade.
Yeah. Utility to counter utility. Pretty standard stuff, of course. Looks like Rippy's getting ready to jump in. He wants to jump on into the bomb site there. Not going to happen just yet, but is this a flank we're seeing? We've got Sheafy up here. He's going to find Strider from behind, but Strider's going to turn around but can't find the frag just in time. Sheafy, lucky to be alive there, has to be said. It's now a 3-on-4 man advantage in DedSet's pocket.
There's no other Taboo players upstairs, and the holes that Buck has made above mean that he can deny it from anywhere. Fisher going to run straight in there, and Rippy gets saved. Plant has gone down 3 versus 2 now, as there's only 2 Taboo players on the board, Crude and Jam. 2 versus 2 in this post-plant scenario. You should hope that Taboo have a lot of intel onto the plant. And Crude! Oh, Crude. Absolute potato. Now, the 2 remaining attackers just have to deny this diffuser as we go past the half a clock. Jam denies unit with that... oh no, is he still defusing? Oh.
He was sticking it, yes, and Jam manages to finish him off as well. And that is the round going to Taboo, which, you know, it looked very, very unlikely to go to. I'm surprised that they actually brought it out there, Taboo.
Yeah, it was... well, once they lost Strider above, I thought that all hope was lost, especially since I believe it was it Sheafy above had the possibility of using the holes through the floor to deny that plan, but he probably assumed there was another player upstairs, so he didn't try and contest that. But nonetheless, in that post plan, I actually thought that who was it? Was it Fisho on the smoke? One of the players, whoever was playing the smoke, would have been Vicious. Managed to stick that, and it got so close. I think that was probably within 1 second of defusing.
Yeah, it was definitely very close. We're going to see the Capitao come out here for striking. Is this strategy to burn out behind the half wall, seeing as they know they're probably going to be going for the Armory Lockers and Archives?
Well, I would have said that you could use the grenades from Buck in order to do that, but the first round, we've now seen DedSet bring Jaeger. They didn't bring Jaeger last round, but this time they brought that. So obviously the Capitao is going to help out, but no, he's going to switch off. It's the same thing that he did last round. He had a Capitao in the original picks, but 6th pick onto a Zephyr. I prefer the Capitao. I love having that smoke utility, and as long as you don't, fry yourself like I often do with those Zenry balls, you can make a good use of that utility as well. But Zephyr really packs a lot of utility with those 4 concussion mines, which primarily can be used for information gathering. They're proximity based. You shoot it into a room or into a corner of a room. If it detonates, you know there's someone right there.
Well, anything interesting on defense? I suppose I'm surprised to see a mute. That's really about it. Like you see a bit of mute played on the top floor. Like we did see Fnatic rocking it a few times, but
and mute's come back into the meta just for a number of reasons. I think that part of what adds to that is the fact that he now has bulletproof camera as a secondary gadget. And those bulletproof cameras are very, very useful for getting eyes through smoke, because obviously those bulletproof cameras can see through the smoke. So if you have one of those on the default plant spots, then these the very on-meta smoke plants just don't work very well.
Yeah, and Sheafy worried about a Thatch grenade. Might be tricking with the ADS, maybe not. He just wants it in a bit of a safer position.
Playing downstairs as well. He doesn't have the bulletproof camera that I praised earlier. He does have a C4, which means he can use that vertical play to his advantage and go for any plant denial C4s through the floor from below. Now, we've seen a lot of drones being flicked through here by Rippy. It's going to give the attackers a lot of information onto where the players are and where the players aren't. Astro been downed, I think, through the floor. Probably going to get picked up fairly shortly by Fisher.
It sounded like Thermite's gun was sending those bullets in his direction, so I'm a bit surprised. Where it was crude, maybe through the wall or something? Through the long angle hallway through the wall, all the way to where it was?
Entirely possible, through what I like to call glass wall, that wall that separates archives and armory. But no, with a strong position here for Taboo with striking on the north. Is this really called vehicle customs? I guess that's the name of the spot outside. Yeah. But no, this balcony, this north balcony, very strong position. You use that in conjunction with control of fountain. What are you doing, striking? I feel like striking's lagged out.
I've had a game crash.
Unfortunate, we have disconnected from the game session, but we're going to, no doubt, try and fix this. G'day guys, and welcome back to the Rainbow Six Pro League for the ANZ region for the match for DedSet versus Taboo, in which we have just finished our rehost. I'm Dev Marta, and once again joined by Monkey Fist for this final map today on Playday number 2.
Yeah, so there was an issue. I believe the whole server crashed. Every single player disconnected. So the whole round will be replayed. Same operator, same bomb site, as there was no clear winner who was going to take that round at all.
Yep. And I guess we should do a little bit of a reminder of the operator bans as they were. Yep. So we had Glaz. Oh, look, I'm just going to have to confirm.
Glaz, IQ, Mirror, and Valk.
There you go. Nailed it, Monkey. Glaz, IQ, Mirror, Valk. So a good counter ban from Taboo getting rid of that IQ. And they also decided to get rid of the Mirror. So seeing quite a different kind of match as well. And that the Valkyrie ban targeted by DedSet to counter that Valkyrie play that we often see from Crude.
Well, here we go, as it is 1-0 up here for Taboo. Of course, thanks to the new rehost feature, we can get that in nice and easy.
It's really exciting that we've got all these new spectator features with this new update in Operation Parabellum. The game now supports us to input things like round history. So as you can see, 1 round up for Taboo, which was their successful attack onto the event site.
Right, so we're seeing same operators picked as last time, of course. I don't think they're going to be able to down Astro for free at the start. However, Taboo put him down to 50 HP. That's probably not going to happen.
Last time Taboo were setting up for an officer's push. They had someone on the north balcony. They had several people outside offices, and it looked like DedSet were going for a pretty standard kind of hold inside of Armory. But I guess we'll just have to see whether or not Taboo are going to go and actually try and do the same kind of take, because I mean they could consider that perhaps it's better to do something a bit different now if they've already done a. They've already showed their hand, I guess you could say, for an officer's push, and they might decide to do something a little bit different. This is the first time, being the second round, and our first round was a vents site, this is the first time that Taboo will be attacking this, with the exception of the rehosted round. So they haven't shown their preferences yet for their methods of attacking.
Yep. But yeah, both teams can also adjust the strategy they were planning on pulling out, can't they?
Oh yeah.
So it goes both ways.
Yes, and Astro bringing a C4 on the bandit, not something you see every day, but I think it's wise. I mean, the barbed wire isn't quite as strong as it used to be. It's not really quite as meta either, but this C4 is very essential for plant denial, and I believe that it's him and Unit Doggy with C4s in hand, and that in conjunction with 3 gas babes on Vicious and the 2 Yokai drones from Fisho Guy give DedSet a lot of plant denial potential.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's going to be Taboo doing something very similar, all grouping up on the east-hand balcony. Looks like they're going to be taking officers and the thermiting open into the archives, go for the plant in there. It looks pretty standard, and that's what I'm expecting.
And as you can see, Mirror having been banned forces teams to adjust the way that they hold things. For example, this fountain area where Shifi is playing as Jaeger often hosts a mirror on the wall, allowing that player to play much more aggressive. But in this case, Shifi has decided to give himself a deployable shield to hide behind. And Strider, being the nade god, renowned nade god, would likely be one to try and nade out this position. However, there is an ADS placed by that Shifi on the Jaeger, which would prevent that from happening.
Yeah, still one is up. Looks like this, we're going to see a flashbang tossed in the direction to kind of burn that one out. Going to see a nade going to be tossed over. In fact, Strider's cooking it. It's going to fall down, and in fact, it's going to find the kill. And he's going to find a second one as Vicious peeks out. Can he find the third onto the bandit, who is literally just around the corner from him? Is he aware? Is he ready? No, he's not. That's going to be one for Astro, who didn't double down as there was 2 lined up. But he's going to fall back instead.
And Unit here at the top of East Stairs as well, in a very strong position to flank. Taboo have their flanks completely exposed, and there are 2 DedSet players waiting to capitalize. But what's Taboo need to realize is that means there's only 1 player on the objective, and if they can push in and take down Fisho Guy, then, well, they'll be the defenders.
When we hear that thermite charge go off, as it's now the 4-on-3 Strider, it did take a lot of damage, but units below, he's got a C4. Need to watch out here, Taboo. You'll be exploded.
If Strider
prone onto the side, there's unit from below.
Plant has been... Yeah, Plant's been denied. There are 2 players with C4 below, which they can use, and Fisher Guy is going to be gathering all the intel that he needs, calling out exactly who has the diffuser, where it is, and for the last few seconds of this round, it's going to force Taboo to be in a very poor positioning. Fisher Guy managed to take down 2 players. It's all up to striking, and he doesn't manage to pick himself up. He doesn't manage to withstand, as that Zephyr ability allows himself to pick himself up, and, well, that's a round that completely turned around for DedSet.
Yeah, it really looked like it was going in Taboo's favour until they just didn't know how to deal with those people downstairs. Like, they didn't have a plan for it. Feels pretty amateurish, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I'm actually really impressed by how DedSet handled that. They realized that they were losing control of site, and they knew they had 2 players with C4. They rotated them both downstairs, and they had their Echo with the Yokai play inside of Archives and just call out where the players were. It allowed the 2 DedSet players downstairs to just use their C4s to deny Plant time and time again, and it made Taboo completely on the run.
Well, we're heading into this next round. We're going to see the Maestro for downstairs once again. Got countered fairly easily, and we're going to see a 6 pick from the Legion to a Pulse. No change up from the attackers, however.
Oh, as you say that, Zephyr, striking changes off of the Zephyr and onto the Capitale, the opposite of what he has been doing for the previous 2 rounds.
Well, he made a liar out of me, of course.
He did. It's alright, you didn't have all the facts.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we're going to have... So, I find it interesting now that DedSet are going to be completely reinforcing the bathroom off. Typically what's become meta is using castle barricades to castle off the bathroom door and create a rotate hole from the workshop into the bathroom, allowing yourself a little bit more freedom and giving yourself a little bit of a crossfire onto that Archives hatch. But no such thing is being prepared by DedSet.
See, that's a great strategy and all, but the fact that, like, you know, you can counter the castle barricade with just an Ash charge, even a sledge, like, you know, one castle barricade does not equal a reinforced wall, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. However, DedSet are going to be using most of their castle barricades upstairs to help with their heavy upstairs hold. Last time, I believe, Taboo took control of the top floor very, very easily, but now they have a lot to contend with. Astro with the bandit batteries, hopefully he can do a little bit more to help his team than he did last time with those batteries.
Right, well, we're 30 seconds into this round and Strider's already in the stairwell taking out the camera and he's going to fall off it. No need to stick around. It's like we're going to see more of the same, what we saw in the first round. Astro there to try and bandit trick once again. Is he going to be as unsuccessful as he was in the first round?
He's playing to prevent the peak at the moment, and now, well, the flashbangs aren't going to do what they need to, but the second one does. Astro's in no position to go for the bandit trick, and he's just going to default completely off downstairs. Vicious, however, takes down Rippy. Where was that kill? I think that was through the floor, or through the hatch, perhaps.
Not close to the side. I can. Sorry. Not sure where, I can tell you that. We are going to see the Maestro once again, exact same spot. Going to cook a coconut and throw it that way, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that'd be wise for Strider to use some of his grenades. With that Dockerby off the board, that's 2 smoke grenades and the call utility off the board for the attackers. However, we still have 2 smoke grenades from striking on the Capitale. The show guy is going to spot out the players peeking into the armory, and, well, Taboo can't really do anything about this, Maestro.
Yeah, well, they need to get Strider up here with his grenades. He'll be able to do something about it. Which I think he's just about to.
Oh, the Maestro is now trying to shoot, and look, amidst all of the ruckus, the Maestro manages to feed enough information to assist
there we go.
in a C4 kill, but Strider managed to take down Sheafy flanking up east stairs. He might not realize that Astro's there as well.
Yeah, through the sweat hole.
Sweat hole.
Yeah, he's going to fall off it, yeah. That's what it's called.
All right.
What would you call it?
I don't know, a melee hole?
Yeah, maybe. Call it a sweat hole, because if you use it, you're getting sweaty, but... Astro's going to peek at nothing there, and it looks like, the top floor's pretty much in the control of Taboo, and, they're not so much as worried about their flanks. We're going to see Strider just drop on top of the servers. This is very aggressive, and I don't think they've even realised he's up here. Crude's going to find Unit as well.
Look at the health advantage for DedSet at the moment. 15 seconds. Strider in a very unusual position manages to get the injure onto the Maestro, finished off by Jam. 2 versus 2. Astro gets taken down by Strider. 2 versus 1. Vicious is the last one alive. Strider has to plant.
Yep, they're going to start sticking the plant. He's going to be on the floor trying to run around it. But, the melee misses. Strider gets the frag. That was quite potato from both parties there. That should not have happened.
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh.
Vicious has got to be kicking himself right now, saying, why did I go for the melee? That was not going to hit. He was out of bullets with the SMG-11, which meant he would have had to either go for the melee or switch to the shotgun. Either way, not really an ideal situation for him, but managing to take down Jam, put him in such a strong position to win that planting scenario, but no, just by the skin of his teeth, he loses.
Yeah, it was... I mean, you can't really blame him for it. The heat of the moment, what do? Try and hit that other player?
The fact that he managed to take down Jam at all is very impressive. Now, Jam was only on 1 point of HP, but it was a 2 versus 1 for Taboo. They had the numbers advantage, and it was in the hands of Vicious to clutch. He did his best, but didn't manage to pull through. It looks like DedSet are going to be retrying that exact same defense because, of course, having won their top floor defense, they have to play 2 off sites before they can return to a site they had previously won. They're not choosing to go to any of the tellers or custom sites. They're just sticking with fence.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
All right, then. So they're not going to go for a third pick. Obviously, I think we're going to see that a lot. We're not going to see a third pick unless teams are forced onto it. What do you reckon, Dev?
I think I completely agree with you. Unless if this is becoming so defender-sided that we're seeing 2 defense wins in a row, I don't expect we'll see that one. And look, there's not really any room for it to happen in this half as we only have 2 rounds left. And by the next round, DedSet are going to be able to return to Armory. I mean, I'm not expecting this to be a very heavy defense-sided map with Mira being banned and Valkyrie as well. 2 very powerful operators to have on border, and with those off the table, it's likely that the attackers are going to be in the advantage.
They're still running the Pulse and the Castle. Both those FBI blokes on defense there.
They don't have the best guns in that UMP, but I mean, it's a slow but sure weapon. And I think that when you're playing... Pardon?
It's good for headshots.
Well, every gun's good for headshots, Monkey.
But the UMP, because of its super low recoil, you can spray and easily snag yourself a headshot.
Look, I might make some enemies saying this, but I actually don't think the UMP is as low recoil as people think. It's pretty low recoil for a low fire rate gun, but it's got nothing on some of the other weapons. And anyhow, before we talk about too much about the UMP, looks like Taboo are mounting their Teller's push, and well, as we could see earlier, Unit trying to do what he can about it.
Yeah, Strider back on his sweat holes. One was pre-fired earlier. That could have been to his death, but it wasn't to be. Just clearing it. Looks like Taboo have gone for a different push. Looks like they're just going to head straight towards the bomb site. Rippy has found the bandit upstairs, but can't capitalise. Zastro's gotten himself to cover. But surely we're going to see this wall thermiter open from the bathrooms. That's my guess.
It has been already, as you can see. One of the... Oh, no, you mean the immediate wall that goes from the teller's hallway. Yeah, that would be a very useful wall to have. Interesting that castle barricade's been dispatched with... I would have thought that would have given Taboo some a little bit more ability, unless if they were taking control over that open area, which it doesn't really look like they have. Unit is in a position to deal damage, as is Astro. It'll come down to whether they can do what needs to be done.
We're seeing bits of utility tossed back and forth there. The frag grenade for the smoke bait. It's going to put Fisho down quite low. This is a bit stalled out right now, isn't it? Taboo have sat in the bathroom for quite a while, and they're just waiting for the defenders to expose themselves, but they haven't.
The fact that Taboo don't have any top floor control means that it's very difficult to get any kind of bite to this attack. Now, they still have 1 minute to go, but they're only sending Striking as a solo player to do what he can up here. upstairs. Now, Unit has finally gotten a kill from his flank inside of Customs. Fisher Guy finds one onto Jam, but what? The diffuser has gone down. Fisher Guy finds a second one with that reflex sight. Strider's just going straight into the bomb site. It's him and Striking, the two STRs, to do what they can in a 5 players to find. Striking has to deny the plan or ace in order to win this out, but no, he's going to get taken down. And another defense win for DedSet, evening it up to 2-2.
Yeah, it was a bit interesting from Taboo. As you said, their attack had no teeth to it. It was very one-dimensional, just from the same wall. No impact at all, as they were just shot from above and shut down. Yeah.
You need crossfires, you need control of above to prevent you from shooting above. Unfortunate to see Taboo stall out like that, because they had control of tellers within the first 40 seconds of the round, and they couldn't do anything with it. They were sitting around twiddling their thumbs. They didn't even try and clear the roamers. They knew that there was a player in Unit Doggy over in Customs, and I'm not sure whether they were aware, but there was another roamer in Astro upstairs inside of Break Room, and he was moving around quite a lot. So if Taboo weren't clearing roamers, they weren't taking control of top floor, and they weren't executing their plan, what were they doing? They were kind of sitting there just waiting for it to happen. And that's not going to help.
Yeah, I think they were banking on the DedSet members peeking into their crosshairs, which, wasn't to be the case. We're going to see the Echo pick in replace of the Maestro, the 6th pick coming on through.
Yeah, well, I think that we've seen a lot of Maestro from the team. In fact, we've seen a lot of both Echo and Maestro, and they've been assisting DedSet very, very well. I'd say that particularly the Echo has been doing a lot more. And I mean, if you 6-pick the Echo so that they think you've got a Maestro and no Echo, then perhaps they're going to be a little bit less aware of their Echotrons. Wow, that's cheeky. Bisho misses it, but that is a very cheeky spot. I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, it looks quite hard to get up to as well. He took him a few tosses, but he eventually got there in the end.
5 seconds left.
Looks like we got the Maestro, replaced with the Echo. I was looking at the wrong stream for a sec.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, no, I mean, the rest of the utility is pretty much standard. As for the attack, it's the same story. Once again, we have the Zephyr being picked by Striking. He's been flexing between the Zephyr and the Capitao. I wouldn't really say either has been doing a ton of work, but nonetheless, maybe it would have been nice to see a Hibana, a little bit more flexibility on the destruction of the hard breaching, especially upstairs. Oh no, Sheafy! Did he run out or did he just peek out?
He jumped out of the window.
Down. That's the only hard breach. And there was no refrag. How was there no refrag onto him?
Well, this round just got quite exciting. What are they going to do? What are Taboo going to do to come back from that major deficit? I'd say they're going to have to play hard and fast, go for shock and awe.
Well, I think that they don't. They have operators that can do that. They don't have operators who are fantastic at doing that. They're all 2 speeds, and they're not any of them really known to be amazing fraggers, maybe with the exception of the Dockerby SMG-12.
What else can they do, Gav? They have to.
Yeah, I guess they have 2 smokes. They could try and make it execute. They can still do a lot of the work that they want to. For example, dislodging Sheafy inside a fountain. They can do the same Thatcher and grenade that they would like to be doing. They can waste it with whatever they like, but they're going to have to do it with these Echo drones. Someone needs to be actively looking for them.
Well, Strider's going to find Vicious. That's the smoke down. That's a lot of utility off the board, but Unit's going to find Strider with the C4. And Sheafy is going to be chucking down his Jaeger device behind the shield to protect him even longer.
Juggling ADSs like this means that Oh no, what? He managed to take down Rippy, who was in Archives, but striking with a refrag. That's what Taboo needs. But Jam still has to find this Echo drone directly above Striking inside of Archives. It's going to be able to deny the plant, but still there's a minute to go, which means that it's not going to be the end of the game for Taboo. Fisho just needs to land 1 bullet on Striking to get the down. And, well, Unit Doggy playing below potentially deal some damage, but Jam, I think, is going to successfully plant.
Yep, and now it's the 1-on-2, and he's going to be peaked. Fisher guy's going to find that frag, and that's DedSet taking this half at 3-2. Casual win once again.
Casual, is it?
Yeah, it's a bit casual. No need to get sweaty.
I need to get sweaty like the little sweat holes that Strider's been making. Yes, well, I mean, with that, we're going to have the half switching over. Taboo are going to go over to the defense, and, well, hopefully for their sake, they're not going to let DedSet mount any successful attacks, because it's very close to them losing around and trading maps 1-for-1. Or, well, I mean, at the very least, it's DedSet have fast-tracked themselves to getting this in a draw. They only have to win 2 more rounds on these attacks in order to guarantee themselves at least 1 point out of this match.
Yeah, and coming into this, you were thinking DedSet were going to take it away with both W's, but, you know, DedSet been looking fairly decent.
I thought Taboo
Taboo. You thought Taboo were going to take it. DedSet been looking fairly a lot better on border, I should say.
Yeah, interestingly, because I thought that DedSet showed up really nicely in the first few rounds of Bank and then dropped off. And I thought maybe they just, you know, they had some nice momentum at the start. They threw Taboo off and then things just weren't working out for them. But no, they've woken up a lot more on border, which is strange to me because they banned border for the first map's ban phase. And yet here we are on border. Like they didn't want to come to border originally. So why are we playing it now? And why are they doing so well on it now? Maybe the fact is that Taboo just aren't very good on border.
Yeah, well, it's been a map that's been in their repertoire for a while. Not their best, but not their worst map. I suppose that's the case with like pretty much every Pro League team. Like border's like the middle ground, isn't it?
Well, everyone wants to be good at border, but I think that just the sheer fact that we've had all these bans coming out and all these the new systems, particularly the operator bans, it throws a spanner in the works of everything that there is. Now, Rippy still yet to find a frag, unusual for him, usually a very strong fragger for the Taboo lineup. Strider leading the way, which tends to be usual these days, has really picked himself up as a fragger, made himself quite notable on that roster.
Yeah, well, what's standing out to me is like looking at the frag distribution there. Like, I'm surprised that Taboo have got 2 rounds. Like, it's very heavily in favour of DedSet. Like, every round that DedSet have won, it's been quite well dominantly. But every time Taboo have won a round, it's been, you know,
very close.
Very close. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess most of these rounds have been close. Like that last round that DedSet won, it got down to a 2v2, it got down to a 2v1. It was very close. And it looks like we're going to have a push that is primarily mounting on the Officers and Archives side. Once again, the Dockerby. In fact, both of these teams having very similar team compositions on both defense and attack. This defensive lineup is actually the exact same that we saw in the previous round where DedSet were defending. And I believe that the attacking lineup is the same with the exception of Shifi on the Hibana, where we saw Strider on the Buck.
Yeah, it looks like they're setting up for this push that we saw work once and then fail once, didn't we? It was you push from the east hand balcony, get in, Thermite open. Well, did it fail both times actually?
I think that Taboo managed to win it once. No, they only won up.
Both their wins were downstairs.
Yeah,
yes,
that's right. They only won vents. Yeah, so I mean, I guess we'll have to see whether Taboo can defend as well as DedSet have been on this particular site. Jam's coming in to back up his teammate inside of... Oh, look at this. Rippy's getting absolutely destroyed inside of Fountain, and Strider peeks out just at the right time. Rippy has been down. That's going to get droned out. He's essentially dead meat at this stage. However, he can still gather intel for his team. Jam's going to cross. He wants to go for that. He wants to go for the revive.
Going to cover it.
Yeah, and Unit,
team
great job from Taboo to secure that revive, even though Rippy has only a few points of HP. Rippy's managed to get a kill out of it. And 2 kills! Sorry. It's insane.
We're going to see Shifi find Rippy and reply, however. He's not happy with how his aim went there as he's shaking his head back and forth. But, just missed shots there from the Thermite as Shifi is dancing around this hole here in the wall. He's going to be down, though, and finished off. Well, actually... Not just yet. Yes, yes. Apologies.
Crude has a lot of intel into what's going on inside of the Officers, where the 2 remaining attackers have themselves. It's both the hard breach players and Strider, a very well placed C4, takes down Vicious, leaving it all up now to Shifi in a 1 versus 3.
Well, that is a mountain to climb. It's not going to be impossible, but it's going to be tough. He's going to make his way into the bomb site. And he's probably going to... Oh, miss. No, he's trusting the smoke, babe, and he missed. And from behind, it's going to be Strider. Strider doing a lot of work that round.
I need to see what Strider... How many kills Strider was on now, because he was on 6 before that round, and I'm trying to count what he got the C4, he got the final kill. He managed to peek out into Fountain and get 1. Strider's on fire tonight. He's got to be nearly topping 10 kills.
He got 3 and Rippy got 2, so that's the full house. 3 and 2 in the pocket for Taboo.
And with that defensive win, that's going to send Taboo downstairs. Taboo seem to be going pretty successfully so far. They've evened it up 3-3, and well, we'll have to see whether they can defend Ventilation or Workshop a little bit better than DedSet did, because DedSet, while they seem to be very confident on their armory defense, they didn't really manage to do much on Vents. I believe they won Vents once.
Yes, they defended it 3 times. 2 were unsuccessful, 1 successful.
Yes. And we'll have to see if Taboo can match that or do one better. Because, well, a minute ago it was looking like DedSet were going to take it, and now Taboo have evened it up.
Yeah, looks like Crude wants the 6th pick off of that Echo. Onto the Pulse he goes.
Ooh. I'm actually really enjoying this match in particular. We're seeing a lot of things that we haven't really seen in a while. This vertical play with the C4s is something that, I don't know, is it just me? I feel like it's kind of dropped out. We didn't quite see so much of it in the previous season. And now it's being such a heavy point of contention. I especially like the way DedSet haven't been relying on a Pulse or a Valkyrie for that information. They've been using the Echo. And even managed to get C4 kills with operators like Mute. Strider managed to do the same thing last round. He got a kill through the floor with the C4 based on the intel of Crude's Echo drone. I'm really impressed so far with the way these teams are using Echo. I feel like Echo is the MVP so far.
Yeah, it's definitely done a lot of work. Wouldn't you have to say though that Taboo are, quite lucky to be up, have this many rounds on the board? Like honestly, like the 2 rounds that Taboo won on defense was that one that came down to the 1v1 with the knife that was missed, and then the defuse almost getting stuck and Strider managing to find fragments. Like this has definitely been so far sided very DedSet.
Maybe, but I mean, I'm thinking of just as many DedSet rounds that went to the nail. Like, for example, the round where it was 1v2, Jam was trying to plant an Archives, and they had to face check him to deny it. And that got very, very close as well. And I feel like it's been pretty close on both sides. I do feel like DedSet have been kind of... It's been DedSet's game more than it's been Taboo's, but I don't think it's by a large margin.
Yeah, alright, well, different opinions, but I think DedSet looked great on their defense, and, Taboo were lucky to be able to get a few rounds on it. But, now it's on the flip side. Are they going to be able to do as well? We'll have to wait and see as, we're watching this right now. 2 minutes on the clock in this round.
With this buck being brought out as well, it's an operator that worked very, very well when used by Strider on Taboo. The nade is going to come out. Not quite sure what the intention of that nade is. It wasn't really thrown at anything. It was cooked too much.
Was unreinforced?
Perhaps he did, because that would have done a lot of damage to the wall if the wall was unreinforced. Perhaps he didn't just look closely enough. Only 1 frag grenade left and no Thatcher to clear things such as the ADSs or these batteries.
Well, Fisher guy is going to open things up. There's striking going down as he's just going to jump on into Archives. Rippy can definitely feel the pressure because he is so close to him right now. He's no luck. Took a bit of damage there. He's going to peek into the spray, but he's going to take no damage from it. C4 is going to come out and completely miss him again. And it looks like he's just going to jump on outside.
Yeah, and with Unidoggy droning him out, it's also going to be very difficult for Rippy. I think Rippy, is just defaulted back. Yeah, good move. Yeah. And Strider as well, holding these angles with the ACOG. Very, very confident man trying to peek these angles. It could work both ways.
Yeah, they've also gained access to the bathroom as Vicious is going to find one and Crude can't land the shots as neither can be done back, but Astro's also found Strider, leaving this into a 1-on-5 now. This is looking dire for Taboo as Vicious will find the frag, putting DedSet 2 away from the map.
That was a very, very dominant. Very, very dominant win for DedSet there. It was a flawless round, in fact. And, I mean, I thought it was looking pretty all right for Taboo at the start. Nice hold inside of Archives, but no, striking got taken out. No refrag from Rippy. And then, well, Taboo kept falling back so as to not lose more players, but they lost their players anyway, even after falling back. Every time that Taboo would retreat, DedSet would take that ground off them and throw it in their faces by killing them.
We're seeing that more and more often where, like, teams will, like, seem like they're stalling out. What they're really doing is they're looking for the weak point that they can take advantage of, and that's what we saw Fisho guy do. He just jumps on in through the window, finds a frag, like, weak point or not, he made it work, and, you know, that's what matters in the end.
Something that really sticks out for me is some good droning from DedSet. So, and some good patience as well. So Fisho, he got that first kill onto striking while he was outside the window. He just a 1v1, you know, a simple peek, and striking lost that. Fair enough. That's good job, Fisho guy. He jumped in, but he didn't immediately try and rush Rippy, because Rippy would have been expecting it at that moment. He waited. Unit Doggy droned it out. And Fisho was getting, you know, shot through the wall by the Maestro. He was just playing himself safe. He waited to get as much intel as possible until eventually the Taboo players defaulted back. And that there put the whole team, Fisho guy and the whole of DedSet, in a strong position to win that round. Now, as Taboo have only played one round off of their successful winning bomb site, they have to now retry for one more round, and looks like they're going to go for the exact same thing.
Yeah, same operator composition, though they've got the Legion instead.
Yeah. Maestro, yeah. No Maestro, just the Legion instead. Look, I don't think that Strider was very happy with how he used that Maestro in that round, so it seems wise to me picking a Legion. Now, Strider seems to be a very strong, you know, kind of movement fragging operator, so I feel like Legion's going to do him well.
That was very close there. Oh, I like that. It's not like right on the ladder, though, so maybe a bit of an accident. I don't know. Do you want it right on the ladder? Like, you get the indication. Then just
I personally would. I would put it directly as close to the ladder as you possibly can.
Yeah.
That way, there's no possible way for them to miss it. Nonetheless, it looks like the exact same kind of attack from DedSet. We've got Shifi taking control very early of East Stairs. Unit Doggy's going to be droning him in long. And wow, Crew's actually got a lot of intel. Is he going to go for a run out?
Yeah, well, he's droning there. That's the thermite.
He managed to secure it. Vicious goes down.
That was very close. Very good play there, as Astro will find Jam as well. So that's an immediate tray back on the other side of the map. Well, that's going to throw a spanner in the works here for DedSet, as they do not have their hard breacher anymore.
I like this breaching charges on Thatcher. A lot of Pro League teams, I've noticed, like to bring some breaching charges when they're taking office, because that wall, which has been breached now, I like to call it triple wall, tends to be unreinforced. It's nice to have some kind of utility to open that up. Now, DedSet are really spread out. You can see that we've got Astro and now Fisho guy as well inside of Customs. We've got Unit and Shifi on the east side still outside. Not quite sure what DedSet are planning on at the moment. I think that first up, Fisher guy's just going to take advantage of Jam's dead body by hacking his camera to gain access to defender cameras.
Yeah, well, there's no Valkyrie to gain advantage of in that regard. Just the vanilla cameras. But it might offer a small amount of information.
Striking seems to be potentially going for a bit of a rotate. Probably wise at this point, as Shifi is pushing into the archive site. There's a whole minute to go, and I feel like Striking would be better off just going for a retake kind of strategy instead of just pushing in hard. Now, if Taboo aren't ready for this rush, Astro and Fisher guys could deal serious damage. Fisher finds Strider, and now Astro and Fisher are in the objective.
Crude's going to find one before. Can he find the second one? Yes, he can. Putting this into a 2-on-2, but Crude is super lit. He's fighting with the Hibana from above. Sorry, the Thatcher from above, but can't land any of the shots. And there's 30 seconds, and there's no one on the bomb site when it was clear. What's going on here? DedSet, a bit uncoordinated.
DedSet both got killed by Crude. The last saving grace that Taboo had on that bomb site. And now, well, it's the two FBI players on the defense trying to hold out for another 15 seconds. They just have to deny this plant. Crude spotted one of them, takes him down. Unidoki, the last one alive. He's going to pass into Striking's crosshairs. And Striking cleans him up with a nice headshot, putting us to 4-4 for rounds at the moment.
Talking of 4, though, that was a 4K for Crude. He was gunning for the ace, but it wasn't to happen. On the UMP, no less. We spoke about that previously. Great impact there from him on the pulse.
Oh yeah, Crude really stepping up for his team. I was thinking that after he got the first kill onto Fisho guy, that he was for sure doomed, because he didn't even realize that Astro was also in workshop. But I think Astro was a little bit startled as well, and both of them took a little bit of time to react, and Crude in the end won that gunfight.
Yes, so we're going to see Armory Locker's Archives coming out from Taboo once again. So they're allowed back there now after winning and losing downstairs, right?
Yes, so that's right. They played 2 rounds off of the site that they had won, which is why they are now allowed to play it again. So I'd like to point out now, since we're coming to the end of this game, 4-4, this is a best of 10 rounds, which means that you have to make 6 rounds in order to take a win. However, if we get to 5-5, then, well, that's a draw. Both teams get 1 point added in the league, and it's considered a draw, which I guess you could say a bit anticlimactic, but I think it's the fairest way possible to deal out points to these teams. Looking at the scoreboard, look at that. Strider on 9 kills. He hasn't got kills for a few rounds now, but he really has showed up. Jam really not fragging out like he usually does.
Yeah, and you know, we said Crude got a 4K last round, but he's on 5 in total. Like, that's only been 1 extra.
I feel like most of the rounds for Taboo have been kind of carried by 1 or 2 players.
Yeah.
Like, there's been good teamwork, but and I don't want to discredit that, but also I really think that you know, in terms of the frag distribution, it tends to be, you know, one particular player getting a lot of kills.
Well, into this next round. So, still keeping the echo here, you know, especially on the top floor for
good.
Taboo.
Yeah, well, I mean, they switched off the echo last time for a pulse when defending downstairs, which allowed them to be a lot more flexible. Crude playing that 3-speed, and that worked really well for them. Vicious realizing you can't rappel up like that. Unfortunate for him. But yeah, bringing out the echo once again for the top floor defense, very much wise. Fisher's going to go for the Pengu jump, as many like to call it, taking a few points of damage, but placing down the Claymore outside that north balcony.
Diffuser's going to be dropped outside as well. It's Astro. He's nice and aggressive in this hallway. Feels like he's going for a bit of a solo play here, doesn't it?
Maybe. I mean, he does have a lot of utility that could be used to shoot down through beepers with that Sophia lifeline. Rippy's going to be trying to juggle this wall and fountain, keep himself alive for as long as possible. But no, the thermite charge actually is going to be going onto the west-facing fountain walls, something that could have been denied from...
Rippy's getting out of it.
Oh no, not alive though.
Astro's going to find 2. That's Strider and Rippy going down. They're the 2 players that have been stepping up for Taboo so far. So this is looking dire. There's a minute and a half on the clock to go.
The officer's push from DedSet does seem to be taking its shape, where the Astro once again playing fairly solo over in CCTV, just droning in. Fisher guy now on the north window of lockers. Jam's going for a run out. No?
Or at least he's getting prepped too. He could run all the way around and find Fisho, which looks like he's going to be doing. Fisho caught right on the cusp. He's not going to be able to reply with some bullets, but Jam did take a lot of damage for it.
That's a very big run out, but it's worth it because, I mean, they're trying to even up the numbers just a little bit now. As we get down to 50 seconds on the clock, Crude's Echo drones are going to be more and more useful for, number 1, gaining information, and number 2, denying this plant. Jam from below could potentially try and shoot up through this hatch to kill any players.
C4 down there, that's worrying. There's the plant, it's getting started. That's Vicious. Are we going to see any denial? No, we're not. It's too fast there for Crude. As that's the plant down, and we're going to see Unit spray down too, leaving it all up to Jam. He's going to find Astro for free as he's looking the wrong way. Making his way back into the fountain area. He's trying to play this one safe, but it's a 1-on-3. I'm not too hopeful for him right now.
And it's so difficult to try and, you know, get that defuse while you have players rappelling outside. Sheafy just toying with Jam at the moment, likely to finish him off. There you go. Easy as you like. Bearing 9 to finish off Jam. And, well, Taboo having trouble defending this top floor.
Yeah, now we're playing for the draw for Taboo and for the W for DedSet. Who's going to get it?
It's funny, either way, it's kind of a draw. I mean, if DedSet win this map, then they're 1 for 1 in maps. So
yeah, for sure.
Either we have a map draw or we have a border draw. I guess we'll have to see. Taboo really have to stand up now, and I mean, they'll be locked out of vents as they... Oh, Crude, what are you doing? Caviera, really?
Yeah, going for the Caveira.
It's
going
going to be a
6 pick off it. Yeah, sure.
Why not? Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see.
Oh, he changed his last second to Legion.
Oh,
no
I wonder
need
if
for 6 mix now.
I think that, like, if we were going to have a Caveira, just not border, like, it's a nice little idea, bring out a Caveira as a, unexpected. Is he in it? No, switch to Echo. Yeah, I was a bit confused there. No,
yeah,
Caveira not on border. You don't have enough rotations to be able to play Caveira very effectively on border. Nonetheless, Fisher guy's actually going to bring out the Ying instead of the Twitch. I think the DedSet are going to take this round.
Yeah, that was another dominant round for DedSet, wasn't it? And we've only seen the 2 rounds that Taboo have won on defense have been both downstairs, and they can't go back there.
Oh no, they won upstairs to start with. They lost their first upstairs, and they won one, and then they won one in vents as well. So they were looking pretty strong. Yeah, they did. They won up top, and that was what forced them to go downstairs. And they lost downstairs, and then they won downstairs. It's kind of like they keep losing one, and then winning after they make some adaptations or what have you. But nearing the end of this game, they seem to not be able to cling on to this top floor defense.
Yeah, well, unless they want to go for their tertiary bomb site, looks like this is what they've decided to go for.
This is the last round.
Yeah,
no matter what. Draw for Taboo versus DedSet. That looked so close. I thought 100% that Fisher guy on the Ying was going to win that round, but no. A fantastic play from Strider, pushing into the throw of the Candelas. That's a fantastic play. I'm so impressed. That was
so clutch.
That was very tense. And look at that, so clutch. Fisher and Strider at the end, both popping off 10 kills in that final round. And that's a draw for Taboo versus DedSet.
Yeah, it was back and forth. I really feel like Taboo are lucky to get a draw in this regards.
Yes, they really scraped away just barely in that last round. And we thought that, after the momentum started going towards DedSet, it looked like that was all said and done for that last map on border.
Yeah, so that's the end of the Playday today. Any closing thoughts or words on that one, Dev?
I just say thank you to everyone who's tuned in because it's been really exciting. And as a recap for the results, if you didn't make it here, first up we had Fnatic versus Control, Fnatic being number 1 seed and Control being the team who's come up through the Challenger League. And against all odds, that was actually a draw on the first map. Oregon went 5-5. And on the second map, it was in quite contrast. I believe it was border. It was a 6-0. And let me check. No, it was actually it was a border. I'm right. Yeah.
Yeah. 6-0 on border. And then those final 2 maps we just saw as well. So Playday number, Playday
number 3 is coming up next week, which will be casted by our lovely casters, Elastic and AM Flea. And let me just check what matches we got. Okay, so we got Taboo versus Atletico. So Taboo, who you've just seen today, are going to be playing Atletico, and Outlaws versus DedSet. So DedSet, who you've just seen today as well. It's going to be a very exciting set of matches there, especially Taboo versus Atletico. That's a bit of a grudge match. I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
Yeah, for sure. So once again, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.